Welcome to the Seniors Rock Show, presented by the Law Office of Michael Robinson, PC, on News Radio, Wham 1180. The Seniors Rock Show, a lively weekly discussion shining a bright light on aging with fun, entertainment, and important info for all adults. Join in with your comments or questions. Call or text 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now from the News Radio Wham 1180 studio in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Well, good afternoon. It's me, Joanna. I'm your host, as the radio guy said, and it's great to be with you today. And I hope if it's your first time that you'll stick around because we've got a great show ahead. And before I get started, though, I wanted to mention I noticed the sun is coming out and it's been raining the last couple of days. And I am so thankful for my new Hunter Douglas shades that I got. And I wanted to share with you, we like to buy local and support community. Well, if you would like to do that, Creative Hands on Dewey Avenue, they're custom. They come to your house, and Debbie and her husband do an amazing job. So I just wanted to give a shout out. Tonight, when it gets dark, I'll pull those shades down, but you can't even tell they're there. I was telling Mike, I'm so excited about that because we have beautiful big windows and they're not covered during the day, but we have privacy at night. And call Creative Hands if you would like to have a custom window treatment and consult in your own home. And they're doing a celebration of light right now, so you can get a rebate too. So give them a call. It's Creative Hands. And if you go to our website, Seniors Rock Radio, you will find a link to their website too. And so I was thinking about spring cleaning and, being bright around the house and changing out my pillows and doing those things to kind of brighten up the area. And then I saw an article called Spring Clean Your Brain. So I thought, hey, that's a good subject for the show. And the headline, it kind of shouted out to me. It said, experts help you clear out the cobwebs and hike your memory and mind power. Yeah, that's all good. But truth be told, what really caught my eye was the opening sentence. And that was, who has been counting ceiling cracks at 3 a.m.? So I went ahead and I read the article for a friend, of course. Anyways, it's no surprise that our brains are often overwhelmed by daily thoughts, especially now. So we have our worries, and I am guilty of waking up in the middle of the night, and I'm looking for solutions. I've tried a lot of different things, lavender, breathing deep, all those things. So today we're going to talk about some tips on how we can improve brain health and hopefully get some better sleep too. Our bodies are often overwhelmed as well. So seasonal activities like gardening and snow shoveling, which thank God is done, I think. Dan Geen of Genesee Valley Physical Therapy answers a listener's question today about preventing lower back pain while enjoying outdoor activities. All this in the next hour. So I'm really thrilled with my progress at Genesee Valley, and Tommy's been doing a great job over there in Greece. And again, if you just tuned in, I'm Joanna Palvino, your host, and I'd like to catch up now with my co-host. I'm talking too much. Michael Robinson has been practicing estate planning and elder law for 35 years. In fact, next week, we're going to do a look back at some of Mike's memories, so be sure to join us then. And we're live here, so I invite you to call. You can try to stump Mike. He's very good at this. So any estate planning or elder law questions, come on, give us a call. It's 585-222-1180, or if you're out of the country, 1-800-295-1180. And you can leave your questions or your name with Pam if you don't want to be on the air. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike now, and I know he's starting to feel a little better. Huh, Mike? What's going on with you over there?
Yeah, hey, happy Saturday, Joanna. And yeah, if somebody's going to call to stump me, this is the week to do so. So I had my my second Moderna dose late afternoon Thursday, and definitely had some side effects from that. Starting to come out of it, but still feeling a little bit out of sorts. But it's still worth it. Still glad I was able to do it, and would encourage anyone else to get that vaccination, when they're able to do so. But boy, what a week. I don't know if you noticed it, but it seems like everything has begun to pop in the last week in terms of trees budding out. Our lilacs no blossoms, of course, but, they're leafing out. Of course, with all of the rain now, the lawn needs to be mowed. So hoping to get to that this weekend if it dries out a bit. But it's just fun to see everything coming back alive for spring.
It sure is. I love it. And I have some birds in my bird houses. And in fact, I have to go get some seed today. So yeah, it's been wonderful in the colors and just seeing the green grass with all the rain we've had. But I'm looking forward to the sun today. And I'm glad you're on the mend because I know you did have a little bit of a side effect, but it didn't last long, right?
No, it was a day and a day and a half, maybe, but it's
Hmm.
one of those things, that it's coming. So it's expected, when it's going to be over. So you don't fret about it. It's just uncomfortable for a little bit.
Yeah, I had a little bit of the chills and some minor side effects myself, and they were gone within a day and a half or so. So you look good, you look happy. So I'm
No,
glad you're here with us today, and that the show must go on, as we say. And
exactly.
I think you've got some interesting information for us.
Well, yeah, a couple of interesting situations came up at the firm this past week, and situations that unfortunately they're all too common, and they inspired this week's myth of estate planning. And this week's myth is, I don't need to put anything in writing. The kids will work it out, and everything will be fine. And Joanna, the truth is probably not. And there's a number of reasons for that. First, even when everyone in the family gets along, people remember things differently. That is a scientific fact. So your son may be absolutely certain that what you said at the Thanksgiving dinner table is one thing, and your daughter may be equally certain that what you said at the same Thanksgiving dinner table was something quite different. And don't even get me started on the son-in-law or the daughter-in-law. So again, it's not even a question of does the family get along. Misunderstandings can come up even in the best of circumstances. Second, whether we like it or not, there are legal requirements that dictate how certain assets need to be handled, and there may be legal impediments to or tax complications with the distribution of assets if those distributions have not been properly planned ahead of time. And again, this is true even if the family is in agreement with what they want to have happen. For example, there can be negative gift tax issues for one or more of the children in transferring assets to their siblings or others. There may be restrictions on or clawback of transfers if one of the kids is having problems, such as a divorce or some health issues or some creditor problems. If one of the children is receiving government benefits, such as SSI or Medicaid, the family's hands may be tied with respect to providing that child with any assets from the estate. And third, of course, as we know, siblings do not always get along. And yeah, what we've experienced over the years is that very often mom and dad are the glue that's holding everyone together. And I've seen many instances where families unraveled when mom or dad are gone, even though mom and dad insisted that would never happen in their family. Sibling rivalries reemerge, other family dynamics become a bit more pronounced. People seem to hold on to things for a long time, and that becomes an issue. And again, you've got, unfortunately, sometimes it's the in-laws that are really at the root of the problem. So for those reasons, and there's others as well, this is why it is so important that your wishes be in writing, that they be drafted to avoid any ambiguities or misunderstandings, and that they be legally enforceable. And there's a flip side to this myth that we're going to cover next week, and that is, well, even if mom and dad did put it in writing, we don't have to follow the will or the trust as long as everyone in the family agrees. So that's another issue that we'll look at next week.
Well, that's very interesting, and it's so true. And I mentioned to you when we were chatting about this that I've seen this scenario, being in a room with a care manager, and that's someone that's trying to help a family, plan for their senior aging, where they're going to live and the services that they need. And if there's several people at the table, you are right. There's always some kind of a different dynamic, and one usually rises up, that's the leader, and then you've got one maybe that lives out of town. And the biggest thing I'm taking away from this, though, Mike, is that it doesn't matter what the parents want or the kids want if it's not done properly by an attorney. And legally, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, that's the bottom line.
That's right. You just don't know if it's going to happen, and unfortunately, too often it doesn't. And the misunderstandings, maybe a good way for folks to think about this is, remember the telephone game we played? When we were kids,
Oh, yeah,
you get a group of people, you whisper, something in somebody's ear, and they keep going around the circle, and by the time it gets to the last person, it's very different. It's the
absolutely.
same kind of thing.
Yep, that's right. And again, it's like the going on on the internet or going to the coffee shop to get advice. You can't get it from your family either. You need to get it from someone who has experience, who's trained in it, and someone like Mike Robinson or another attorney, right? That's an estate planner, and you have the added elder law, with the estate planning. So I know that that's kind of a specialty, and I think that's wonderful because we need so many support systems in place with this growing and senior population that we see coming down the pike here. And we need geriatric doctors and nurses and people like you who specialize in elder law. So thank you, Mike.
Well, you're very welcome. And it's part of the fun part of the practice is being able to help folks with these things.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to get some help, you can join Mike on a webinar. There's a couple coming up here in May, the 5th, Wednesday the 5th, and then again, Wednesday, May 26th. And those are great. So there's no obligation. Check it out and go to mrobinsonlaw.com to register. You're listening to the Seniors Rock Show on News Radio Wham 1180, and we'll be right back.
Genesee Valley Physical Therapy.
Hi, this is Dan Geen, physical therapist and owner of Genesee Valley Physical Therapy. And today I'm bringing you a very important public service announcement. The state of New York is a direct access state, which basically means you do not need a doctor to refer you for physical therapy. You can simply call Genesee Valley Physical Therapy, and one of our friendly, knowledgeable receptionists will talk to you and help determine if we can help you feel better with either traditional physical therapy or even wonderful aquatic physical therapy. So please don't suffer in pain, and please remember you don't need a referral to see us. We adhere to strict CDC guidelines and even offer telehealth visits if you prefer. Call us or visit GeneseeValleyPT.com today. There's a convenient location near you, including our newest location in Pittsford in the Bushnell Basin office building.
Do what you love, we'll help you get there. Genesee Valley Physical Therapy.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
And welcome back to the Seniors Rock Radio Show. I'm Mike Robinson here with host Joanna Pelvino. And Joanna, I was listening to the news break there. Do you think we're going to get the same kind of coverage for our funeral as Prince Philip is getting?
We can only hope. I don't know. That is amazing, though. I started watching it and I forgot we had to do the show, so I slammed on, I slammed the DVR on and said, "Whoa, I have to get ready." But yeah, it was fascinating. The cathedral and just the pomp and circumstance behind it was amazing. I can't wait to watch the rest later. Did you see any of it?
I have not, but I was amused by the fact that his hearse is a Land Rover, and I was thinking, I think I would like a VW microbus for
Very
my
cool.
hearse.
With
So,
flowers.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and speaking of flowers, as we head into spring, this is a good time of year to shake off the mind and body doldrums and really get, start fresh. And I know we've got some tips queued up, some simple everyday improvements people can use to boost their brain health.
Yes, we do. I'll start. And the first one is, I like this, be brave. Try new things, because I guess aging brings with it a reduction in a desire to try new things. So fighting that tendency is neuroprotective, says the author of Successful Aging. And I know that you're kind of a brain fan, if you want to call it that. And I'm going to test you now. What do you think this neuroprotective means?
Neuroprotective. It would have to do with protecting and preserving our neural connections.
That's
and
right.
The way our brain functions.
Ding, ding, ding. It refers to the relative preservation of neuronal structure. And it's quite fascinating. And all you have to do is try something new. You could play an instrument, maybe try a new language. And if you haven't spent much time outside, go for a hike, get out in the woods. It'll change your life. Right, Mike?
Yeah, trying two new things. Good stuff. Another thing, and obviously this is not new, meditation. In research has shown that even 5 minutes a day can actually physically change your brain. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's a number of helpful apps out there and things, resources people can find. But basically, what meditation is designed for is to increase mindfulness or awareness, which then leads to more self-awareness, which has, of course, all sorts of benefits. And as you and I have talked about, I've had a meditation practice going for about 9 years now, and it really does help. And it's not hard. It doesn't need to be sitting cross-legged on a cushion somewhere. It's pretty straightforward, but it's extremely helpful.
Yeah. Can you tell the listeners maybe some of the things you noticed when you started doing that, or how long it took to really feel the benefits?
Well, I tend to be impatient about a lot of things, so I was disappointed I wasn't levitating after the first 2 weeks. But generally speaking, I can tell you my stress level has gone down. I'm able to focus better. There seems to be more clarity in the way that I observe what's going on, and I've become more understanding of other people as well, and what are their perspectives.
Yeah, staying in the moment really does something for you. And I think I'm going to remind listeners too, because I'm getting up there, in age, and I still feel young though, but you have to respect your biological clock. And when you feel good, sometimes you mess with that. And after age 60, even one night of going to bed an hour late messes up your biorhythms and get this, your memory. So for more, to get in a regular sleep routine is very healthy and good for you.
Yeah, sounds it. And that's one I can relate to as well. So good to know. Exercise, of course, of any sort, get the blood pumping, whether it's, resistance training, whatever, cardio, that's good for your brain as
Yeah.
well as your body.
Yes, and a couple more quick ones because we have to go to break. But laughing is a big belly laugh releases stress relieving endorphins. So don't forget to laugh. Practice gratitude because we have so much to be thankful for. Just be happy that you're alive today, and stay right with us because we'll be back with Dan Geen from Genesee Valley Physical Therapy. He's going to tell us about how to make sure those backs of ours stay in good shape too. We'll be right back.
Effortlessly healthy meals are fresh, fully prepared, ready to eat, and hand-delivered. As a senior, I appreciate the 10% discount, and I love the never-frozen big variety of heart-healthy meals I get to choose from each week. Effortlessly Healthy is locally owned. Meals are perfect to send to a senior loved one. Just heat and eat. Effortlessly Healthy, delicious food, convenience, and a 10% senior discount. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay home. ehmeals.com, ehmeals.com, 585-254-0078.
In these uncertain times, we're all concerned with protecting our family's legacy and hard-earned assets from nursing home costs, unnecessary taxes, and the expense and delay of probate. At the Law Office of Michael Robinson, PC, we've spent over 34 years helping families just like yours preserve their wealth and leave a lasting legacy for those they love. Register for a free educational webinar to learn how you can protect you and your family. mrobinsonlaw.com. That's mrobinsonlaw.com.
Welcome back to the Seniors Rock Show. I am Joanna Palladino, your host, and I'm here with Michael Robinson, but we also have a guest today, and his name is Dan Geen. He'll be on a regular basis. You've probably heard him before. He is a physical therapist with Genesee Valley Physical Therapy, and they have 7 locations in the area, in Rochester area. And if you'd like to learn more, you can go to seniorsrockradio.com and link to them, but we're going to give you their direct contact information as well. And we have been getting, since Dan's been on the show, we've actually been getting some emails with questions. And I thought the one that we got this week from a listener in Greece was very appropriate. And I'm going to give Dan that question in a second, but I just want to remind folks that we are live. If you have a question for Dan in the next few minutes, you can give us a call, 585-22 or 222-1180, and he can answer your questions. And he'll be back pretty much every week. So think about that. Write it down if you have a question during the week. So for today, I am going to say, hello, Dan. Welcome back to the show.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me back. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, we love having you on. And this is really a great topic for, we had a listener that emailed us from Greece. Her name was Susan. And she said, I'm gardening. And she said she loves to plant flowers in her front yard, but every year she gets terrible back pain from doing this. And so I'm going to ask you, Dan, do you have any tips on how Susan can prevent this pain and how other folks who are listening might be able to do that?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to find a neighborhood kid to do it for you. No.
That's right. Cheap labor.
However, you probably can't find a neighborhood kid that's actually outside anymore. So they're probably in your basement somewhere.
Oh, there you go.
So
That's right.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's one advantage of having 8 kids. I've had that gardening thing down for quite a few years, but they
Yeah,
start to
wait
get
a
a
minute.
little
You
older.
have a whole team. You have like a gardening company because you have 8 children, right?
I do.
Do they come back and help you?
Yeah, I had one of my neighbors a couple of years ago. We're out working in the yard. He's like, "How do you get your kids to do that?" I go, "I just tell them if they want to eat, they're out here." So it works.
There you go.
So,
That was my dad's style
yeah.
too. You just did what he said, and that was it. Easy.
That's sort of it. Yeah, sort of old school. No, but it's a very common problem, and there's there's a few tips I think to maybe help Susan out. And the first thing I would tell people is you probably got to warm up before you actually do that activity. So, I would maybe recommend going out for a brisk walk, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. You sort of get that blood pumping. You get the joints sort of lubricate themselves with their own lubricant. The muscles warm up, and you're more likely to be more flexible when you try to do that job you want to do. So that would be the first thing I would tell people to do, is to warm up sufficiently. Now, if it is a problem area for people in the past, they may have learned some stretches that help them. I would maybe sort of recommend they try to do that before they get started as well. If you're not sure of what to do, that's where a physical therapist could come in handy to maybe show you specific things to your problem. But having said that, the general information would be to try to just warm up. The next thing is probably you practice mindful lifting. So you got to think about what you're doing. You just, a lot of times you go on autopilot. You've done it so many years in the past. You just sort of go and do what you got to do. But it's really important that you maintain good posture while you're working. And that's actually exhausting because your brain is thinking about things. A lot of times when we do things, our brain goes on autopilot. It sort of runs this software in the background, and it doesn't have to really think about things. But to try to concentrate on something new like good posture and good lifting takes a strong mental effort. So it's important to maybe keep your back straight when you're lifting. You've got to lift with your legs. You want to keep the weight close to you when you're lifting. So, if you grabbed a 20-pound bag of flour or fertilizer and you held it away from your body maybe 20 inches, that increases the pressure on your spine up to 400 pounds of pressure. So now that 20-pound of fertilizer held out at arms maybe 20 inches away from your body is 400 pounds of pressure on your spine. So keep things close to your body, all right, when you're lifting. The next thing I think is when you pivot to turn, a lot of times we just leave our feet fixed in one position and you rotate. Well, your spine, especially your low back, doesn't have a lot of rotation ability to it, though we try to force it. So if you have sort of an arthritic spine or a problem with your back and you try to pivot without moving your feet, you tend to really create some friction in that spine and shearing force, and you can irritate disc tissue and some of the small joints of the spine. So, pick up your feet and move. So you're pivoting with every move that you're making, and you're not just twisting. As you get tired.
Yeah, Dan, that makes sense. I have had a couple of times where I hurt my back. Funny enough, very simple thing, emptying the dishwasher, because I'm standing to the side of it. And instead of turning my feet, like you said, or pivoting, I'm putting the dishes in and turning with my waist and putting them up in the high shelves. And that has hurt me a couple of times.
Yeah, we tend to we try to conserve energy, right? So if I don't have to lift my feet, but I could just rotate, that's one less step I have to take. But over time, that could create problems. So you're right. You definitely want to get those feet to move. It may slow the process down a little bit, but you're more likely to be able to do it every day and not be laid up for a week or two trying to recover from twisting too much. So, those are some of the things I think can be helpful. If you got a second, breathing is another big one. A lot of times we hold our breath. And when you hold your breath, you increase a lot of abdominal forces, and it puts a lot of stress on your back as well. So make sure you breathe. In addition, it also affects your blood pressure and your heart rate. So, from that standpoint, you want to breathe as well. So,
yeah, and breathing deep is important too, right, Dan? Because I mean, we tend to have shallow breathing, and I know when I do, my stretching and I breathe like Tommy's been teaching me at your Greece location, it really makes a difference. I mean, just you get in the habit of that shallow breathing.
Right. So, there's proper ways of breathing. You want to use your diaphragm. And it's funny, you come into this world and we naturally diaphragmatically breathe, which is the proper way of breathing. As we go through life, we actually change that a little bit. And we do more of that shallow breathing. We use some of those accessory muscles to breathe, which really don't fill our lungs to the capacity that they need to. So we become inefficient at breathing. So a lot of times in the clinic, we'll show people, we'll start off the first visit just showing people how to breathe properly to activate their abdominal muscles. So it's pretty enlightening for people. So
Dan, sorry to jump in here, and it's hard because we're in different places, but I do need to tell you that we have about 20 seconds left. So I'd like you to wrap it up, but also let the listeners know GeneseeValleyPT.com is where you should go if you'd like to find a location near you. And Dan, would you like to say anything closing here?
Yeah, I mean, just listen to your body. Take breaks if you need to, and keep moving. Just I think it's good to warm down and maybe take a walk at the end of your routine as well to loosen things up again before you shut it down for the day.
So important, Dan. Thanks for being here, Dan Geen from Genesee Valley Physical Therapy. He'll be back again, but listen to his advice. It's very important. And I know if you don't stretch, you're going to get hurt. I've done it myself. So stay right there. We'll be right back. And we have the Grape Spotlight Business of the Week, and that is Amy Rist with the Village at Mill Landing. Stay tuned.
The Greater Rochester Area Partnership for the Elderly, or GRAPE, is proud to sponsor the Seniors Rock radio show. Since 1992, GRAPE's members, all professionals working with and for older adults and their families, meet for monthly educational and networking programs. The GRAPE organization looks forward to introducing you to some of their members during the Spotlight feature on the Seniors Rock show. Learn more about GRAPE or join as a member at grapeelder.org or call 585-256-4351.
Organization that Mike and I both belong to. Welcome back to the Seniors Rock Show, by the way. And I am talking about the Greater Rochester Area Partnership for the Elderly. And they have almost 300 folks that are out in the community. And we like to do a Spotlight Business of the Week every week. And this week it's the Village at Mill Landing. And here to tell us more about living there is Amy Rist. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Hi, Joanna and Mike. I've been looking forward to connecting with both of you all week. Thank you for having me. As Joanna said, I'm Amy Rist, and it's my pleasure to offer an overview of our senior living community, the Village at Mill Landing. Located on Mill Road in Greece, the Village at Mill Landing provides assisted living and memory care support, along with an enhanced licensure. Our enhanced care services offer our residents and their families greater peace of mind, as this specialized care support allows our residents to age in place with us for longer. Envision an umbrella over our community, if you will. We provide assisted living support and OPAL memory care support, and then the enhanced services may be implemented as our seniors are aging. What we need now is definitely not always what we're going to need in the future. So our goal is to provide support while encouraging our residents to be as independent and safe as possible. With the personalized care plan, that support is designed to fit individual needs with as much or even as little care as needed at the time. And life enrichment. It's crucial for all of us to stay young at heart, with a wide breadth of opportunity to engage and grow socially at any age. Our hometown cafe with barista, our daily exercise classes, and our movie cinema are just a couple of our perks. And our OPAL memory care, we celebrate our residents for who they are today as well as all of the incredible accomplishments that have led them to the present. A unique focus on our 7 pillars of wellness ensures that we are addressing all facets of living well in Opal. So I'm thrilled to share that life is happening every day at the Village at Mill Landing.
Thank you, Amy. We're going to have to ask you for the contact information because we are going to break soon and the show is almost over. So please wrap it up, and thank you so much for being here today.
You got it, Joanna. Village@milllanding.com.
Excellent. That's easy. Thank you, Amy. And we'll have you back again sometime, but it sounds like a wonderful place. We are so happy that everyone joined us today. We hope you'll come back next week. And a reminder that if you are homebound and you need help with getting a vaccine, call Lifespan at 244-8400. We will be back next Saturday at noon, so please join us. Thank you to the guests today. Thank you to our sponsors, and especially to you, our listeners. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And if you're a senior, you're cool. You know why? Because we think seniors rock.